What is your profession?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mordian Monday. So today we've got something very exciting for you guys. We're not doing the usual sort of paint and chat style video. We've actually got the first battle report of the newly restored Mordian 50th rifles. So this is a 750 point battle report, pure infantry Mordians Iron Guard taking on the Dark Elder. So we'll go through what the Iron Guard have got first. So we've got 6 squads of infantry here, 3 assault squads, 1 with a chainsword and flamer, 1 with a power sword and flamer, and 1 with a power sword and melter gun. And then we have 3 more infantry squads, 1 with grenade launcher and heavy bolter, and 2 with grenade launcher and missile launcher. Supporting them is a squad of veterans with 3 plasma guns, a plasma pistol and a power sword. And then we have the characters, which is we have a junior officer with a power sword, junior officer with a power fist, senior officer with a bolter, minotaur and priest with a chainsword and las pistol, and a lord commissar with a bolter and power sword. And finally, for the support element of the platoon, we have 2 squads of mortars and a squad of ogres. Ogrins technically, but these are converted from ogres from Age of Sigmar. They've each got ripper gun and a huge knife. So there we go. So that's the 750 points of Mordian Iron Guard. It's going to be a nice sort of quick battle report today, but let's see what these guys are facing off against in their premiere battle report after they've been restored. So here we have 750 points of Drukari, or Dark Elder for you long beards out there. Johnny's just going to run through his list with us now. So where do you want to start?
Right, so with the HQs, I have 2 succubi. Both have blast pistols. One has the relic, the archaic glaive, and one just has a normal glaive. Then in terms of infantry, I have 4 squads of witches. I have an 8-man squad with a blast pistol and shardnet / impaler. I have a 5-man squad with a blast pistol and hydro gauntlets. I have a 6-man squad with blast pistol and hydro gauntlets. And then finally a 5-man squad, apologies they're not painted, blast pistol and shardnet and impaler. And then they're being carried, 5 men are in the Venom, and that's got a cannon and splinter rifle, so I haven't paid for the upgrade. And then this guy has, I believe, a shock prow, which won't really do him any good. Oh no, sorry, he's got a phantasm grenade launcher, which essentially is like a Hellfire bolt round.
Okay.
And he has a disruptor cannon.
Excellent.
And then finally, I have 9 bikes with 3 grav talons and 3 blasters, and that takes me to I think 750 on the nose.
This is really interesting force. Johnny was just telling me about the fluff behind them, which is his witch cult is sort of just starting out at the moment. They haven't got their own arena, so what they're doing is they're sort of trying to get some really good slaves that they can capture and sort of practice on, and then when they've got their own arena, they'll be able to do some really good displays back in Comorra.
Well, the sort of fluff behind the army in general, as I'm building them up, is that because they can't afford their own arena yet, they're almost like a murder streaming service. So say for example, you know, you're not a wealthy Dark Elder, you can't afford to go to the arena to get your fix of pain and suffering. You don't really want to risk wandering the back alleys of Gomorrah, killing, you know, the unfortunates who are weaker than you to get you that sort of rush. So, you know, what do you do after a long day at the Splinter Pistol factory? You know, you go home, you stick on your telly, and these guys have like a streaming service where they're committing raids all around the galaxy, and sort of, you know, streaming that live so that Dark Elder can get their fix of pain and suffering from the comfort of their own sofa.
So it's
or, you know, nail bed, I suppose it would be.
So what you're saying is it's pay-per-view raiding.
Pay-per-view raiding, yeah, exactly. So that's the idea with these guys.
That's really, really cool. So what we'll do now, guys, is we will roll for deployment, a mission. We'll get everything set up, and then we'll go through the field of battle after deployment and the mission. So here we have the Warlords and Relic Bearers for both armies. The Dark Elder, their Warlord and their Relic Bearer is the same model, and it is this succubus here. She has the Archite Blade and Blood Dancer, which when she gets a 6 to hit, counts as 3 hits, is that correct? For the Guard,
the glaive isn't -1 to hit, and it's D3 damage instead of 1 damage.
Ah, excellent. So that's pretty potent close combat weapon.
Extra strength as well, so strength 6, but strength 5.
That'll be useful wound my guards on 2s then. My Warlord is the classic Mordian Metal Officer, and he has Master of Command, so he can issue an extra order. And my Relic Bearer is this junior officer who has the Dagger of Tusaka, which means him and 1 squad of infantry can outflank this game. So here we have the 2 armies facing off against each other. Deployment zones for today is Spearhead Assault, so that is the pointy lengthways one. And the mission is 4 pillars, which is kind of like ITC Light. There are 4 objectives. If a player holds more objectives than their opponent, then they score a point, and if you kill more than your opponent at the end of that round, you score a point. The Iron Guard have deployed in just a big wedge, phalanx, Ogrins leading the charge. Just basically we're going to bulldoze our way forward. The Dark Elder have set up in a similar fashion. Those jet bikes are on the ground floor, and they've got their raiders and some extra witches round here as well. So the map that we've got today, we've gone for a sort of Arbeit precinct. So we've got a sort of Arbeit cutter just here, garage area with a couple of Arbeit patrol cruisers in there, and the story we're going for is. This is sort of the underhive with a Arbeit precinct in, Arbeit sort of outpost, and it's gone dark, and the Imperial Guard have been sent in because anything that can take out an Arbeit precinct must be a significant threat. So the Imperial Guard have been sent in, and they suspect it's a little more than just some unruly citizens, so we've brought some serious assets. And for the Dark Elder, what they've been doing is essentially to get more views on their live stream, they've been taking on harder and harder opponents, so they're not just taking on sort of ragged civilians anymore. They actually wanted to take on some Arbites, and it's even better for them because it's like, and look who, and a new challenger enters, the Imperial Guard. So for them, it's they're really interested in fighting some more hard and hard opponents.
And you know, any slaves also profit as well, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving up for that palace, citadel, arena.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So should be a good game today. Currently, the Dark Elder have the first turn, unless they want to give it to the Imperial Guard. Because going second is kind of good.
It really is. Let me just check how far away you are in general terms. Very interesting. So you can start shooting and advancing and shooting me straight away. I'm going to go first, you know.
Okay.
I know that's a bad idea, but
so
whatever.
Just because it's the right thing to do, I will attempt to seize the initiative. Nope, it's a 5. If that was my Overwatch, I would have hit, but it's not. So
I'm really not happy about that.
We'll be back at the end of Dark Elder turn 1.
Right, so first thing.
And just to be clear, these guys, the veterans with plasma guns and one of the junior officers with the Dagger of Tusaka, are actually outflanking, just so you don't wonder where they were in the deployment zone. So the Dark Elder turn 1, they've had an aggressive start, they've flown in here, they've made a mess of the Imperial Guard front ranks, and yeah, they've decimated these few squads over here. So just to start off, the bikes flew around here in a flanking manoeuvre, did a drive-by on the Ogrins and killed one with their blasters. Another one was killed by this Raider's disintegrator cannon, and another one was killed by a torment grenade, which is a stratagem from this Raider, which means they had to beat my leadership on 3d6, which he did, and he did D3 mortal wounds, and he got the 5, which meant that he killed another Ogrin. This squad here took a bit of a mangling from rifle fire from this Venom, and it's got a splinter cannon and it's splinter rifles, and there's other bit of spare firepower here and there. And another one was impaled on the shock prow of the Raider. Final thing to say is these bikes lost one to Overwatch and one in close combat versus the Guard. The Priest really already paying for himself, and in return the Guard got kind of lucky, made a lot of 6-up saves versus these -1 strength 4 bikes, -1 AP. I lost 5 from this squad, and I lost 1 from that squad. I should have lost 2 more from this squad, but I actually got double 6 my armor save, so that was pretty good. So oh yeah, they also, I should say, they lost D3 from them doing the grav talons on the way past.
And I'm sorry, they flew past in my movement phase, touched one model, and did 3 wounds from the stratagem, which is a razor flyby.
I thought that was the grav talons.
No,
oh,
that's
okay. So they did so it's not grav talons, it's the razor flyby. Okay, fair enough. In return, they were unable. They did 1 wound to the Raider, I think, from a flamer on Overwatch, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
And that was it. So in terms of leadership, these guys passed thanks to the Lord Commissar. I used the D3 leadership stratagem on this squad, and I spent 2 command points to keep this squad alive. Now you might think, why does it spend 2 CP to keep a 2-man unit alive? Purely to deny Johnny first strike. He hasn't got it now, and thanks to this mission, 4 pillars, that means if I kill 1 unit, I will gain more points. I'll gain 1 more point than Jonathan. So that's really it's kind of tactical, spending command points, but it is paying off. So Johnny's also spent some command points, so he's got 3 left at the end of turn 1, and I've only got 2 left.
Because I did -1 to hit an Overwatch.
Yeah. He did lightning fast reflexes for his Overwatch, which negated my Mordian trait. So there we go. Bit of a in-depth turn 1, but you can see how fast these Dark Elder are. Now the Mordian Iron Guard are going to have to respond here. They've had a few units tied up, but hopefully we'll be able to counter-attack quite strongly. Let's see what we can do going into our turn 1. So the Guard managed to counterattack quite well. We put lots of lasgun fire from 2 squads and the 2 remnant squads into the Raider. We finally brought it down. The occupants piled out. The Witches, which was an 8-man squad, was mortared, and only 1 remained after the mortar shells cleared. Both mortar squads got 13 shots. Then there was also the 2 succubi. One of the succubi took 2 wounds from this 10-man assault squad here. She managed to dodge the melter beam, which was unfortunate for me. But then she could not dodge the avalanche of muscle, which was the Ogrins, who came barreling in and finished her off. The 1 witch that was here got dogpiled by 10 guardsmen, but this witch, this succubus, heroically intervened, and she was able to kill the 2 Ogrins relatively easily. So that's it. So we've killed a Raider, we've killed a squad of witches, we've killed one of the succubuses. We haven't been able to do any damage to these bikes, which I think is going to bite me in the ass. And there's still a squad of witches in here, and there's still 2 squads of witches down here. In terms of points, the Guard got 1 for first strike, and we also got 1 for killing more units than the Dark Elder. So let's see what the Dark Elder can do to respond. I think they're ready to unleash the pain. So the Dark Elder continued to circle the Imperial Guard like a shark circling a wounded enemy, and the bikes flew over here, used eviscerating flyby on the Priest, and managed to kill him. Johnny had 7 dice to try it. He needed to get 4 of them, and he did, so he managed to kill it. Look on the lucky side of 7 there. He then put 3 blasters into the Commander and killed him. He got 1 through, and he got 3, so my cannon would have lived, and he used his last command point, and he got the 6 and just vaporized him. The bikes then charged into this squad and killed them, and the Venom charged here but didn't do any damage. This squad rolled double 6 on its armor save. This lady here tore apart 7 of the squad, but fortunately I was able to pass thanks to the Commissar. I rolled I had leadership. I had to get 1 or a 2, and I rolled a 4, so they would have run away, but the Commissar executed 1, and then this guy managed to stay with the reroll. So the Commissar rule actually worked for the first time since the nerf, but that's it. So and that actually took 5 wounds as well, so that's to Overwatch, which is pretty good. They took 1 wound to being stabbed by the guardsman, and she took 1 wound. She took 1 wound from being stabbed by the power sword guy. So there we go. Not a lot of guard left, but we do have our reinforcements which are going to be outflanking on, and we'll see what we can do to these Dark Elder. So Imperial Guard reinforcements arrived, the veterans came flanking out here. I wasn't originally going to start working on his flank here, but then I remembered Johnny said his bikes don't have an invulnerable save. And I was like, the one thing my plasma will actually be good against will be bikes. So I came in here, I was just able to get the 3 plasma guns, the plasma pistol in rapid fire range. And I was able, it really worked. The bikes just melted away. And by after
7 kills.
Yeah, there was just one left. After all the firepower and the las guns and everything, there was just one left, which was really good. I was then able to blow the venom up. It actually took a bit more firepower. This whole squad, even when they fell back and shot, thanks to this officer here, they actually whiffed, and it actually took the heavy bolt from over here to kill the venom. And then the mortars just came in and just annihilated those witches there that pulled out.
Again, there was one left after the first.
Oh, there's one left after the first volley of mortars, so I actually was like, just went, fuck it, second volley of mortars and just finished her off. And this lady here took 3 wounds from the 9-man squad here, who just, no orders, just did all good old lasgun fire into it. So, at the end of that round, the Dark Elder actually scored 2 points because they killed more and they got my Warlord. So it's actually 2 each, because I got first blood and hold a point, and the Dark Elder have kill more and hold a point. Oh, actually I got kill more in the first turn, didn't I? So it's 1 point, 3 points in my first turn, and 2 points in your turn, and no points in the end of battle round 2 for me.
Yeah.
So it's 3-2. The Guard have brought their reserves on. The Dark Elder are looking thin. They've got the Warlord and they've got a couple of squads of witches, but you know Johnny's used to being in tight spots. Let's see what he can do with this army. So Johnny's taken a look at what forces he's got left and what forces I've got left, and the Dark Elder really are, they're not in a position where they can win, unfortunately. The moment Johnny moves off with these 2 small squads of witches, he starts giving me a point every turn, and I've got enough firepower to realistically just clear him off with the mortars and some las guns. So what we've decided to do is we're going to do a sort of a final duel of fates, where his succubus takes on my Lord Commissar. So the succubus has come around the flank here, charged in. I didn't do anything on Overwatch, and now she's going to try and kill my Lord Commissar. I'm going to roll it live on camera. So we'll roll it in this spot here. So how many attacks did she get?
5. 6s count for 2, so that's for 3 technically. 2 extra hits automatically.
Okay, so it's not looking good for the Lord Commissar.
Re-roll the 1. Did I do that already?
You re-rolled it and you were fine, yeah. 2's to wound. Okay, so this is how many 5-up invuns my Lord Commissar has to make. Come on, Emperor protects. No, so even if you rolled, yeah, he's very dead. So the Lord Commissar is killed, and before the guardsmen have time to react, the succubus activates teleporter button on a belt, and she teleports away with the Lord Commissar. He's going back to Comora, and these witches go away, because realistically the Dark Elder, they don't care for the trinkets that the Guard are trying to take. These objectives, they mean nothing to them. They've come in and they've cleared out the command structure of the Imperial Guard. They've got the mightiest warriors and they've left. So
yeah, I've literally, every single character's been strapped to something and teleported.
So as I was saying, the command structure of the Imperial Guard has been knocked out and taken back to Comora. And for the Imperial Guard, this is a tactical victory. Obviously, we've secured the air, we've driven back the Xeno scum. But for the Dark Elder, it's more of a sexual conquest. They've taken the command structure of the Imperial Guard, taken it back to Comora, and they're going to be, well, it's best not to say in too much detail what's going to happen to those poor guardsmen. But yeah, so it's a tactical victory to the Guard. As Johnny was sort of saying, like, she is going to die, which then gives me Warlord. Then one of these squads is going to die, and which means that I then have 2 objectives, and I'm just going to get a point every single turn. So we'll call it there.
No more troops on this side. Yeah. If I killed these guys, we rolled the dice, and I killed off 8 guardsmen from that squad, and the individual guardsmen stood there, which means you would have had no troops essentially.
Would have just had 2. I would have had a little 2-troop man here and a little sort of 2-troop guy here. So I would have just even with leadership, I would have just had enough to probably keep this objective, because she can't score it off me, unfortunately.
No, fair enough.
So yeah,
it's just impossible for me to catch her.
Dark Elder just don't quite have the numbers. So
Well, I did everything I could in terms of... It's the 5-up Overwatch. I don't know why people say it's shit, because it's not. It's really good.
Yeah.
Considering half... Like, what's the thing that kills Imperial Guard? Assault. You don't lose in a shoot-off, you lose in an assault match.
Yeah.
And if an assault army has to eat 5-up Overwatch, it's just really tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only thing that you possibly could have done differently is somehow let me have first turn. Let me move forward, and then you're able to then sort of use your witches a little bit once I've advanced a bit closer.
Taking an entire battle line with fire.
It would have been a close game. There were a few moments when your dice went against you as well. A few moments where my dice were a little hot. So it all works out in the end. But as it is, the Imperial Guard have managed to claim victory today. So a nice start for the Mordian 50th. We're back on the field of battle. And we've managed to claim our first victory with the new colour scheme. So there we go. Hope you guys have enjoyed this battle report. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.